Let's get to the week in review of everything that's been going on.
Yes, sir. There's a lot to go over this week, as there always is.
Hmm.
The top, well, not the top story, but like the first story I want to get into is 100 Thieves making a pretty awesome announcement this week in a Project X, which for those who don't know, it is a game that they are developing over at the organization. They announced this week that they are starting a brand new there's a brand new game in production that they're making. They're pretty much essentially starting a studio over there at
Yeah.
100 Thieves, and it's codenamed Project X at the moment. Um, there's not too much detail, unfortunately, that they could give us at the moment. They kind of just made the announcement on Twitter this week, kind of saying like, "Hey, like we're making a game. We don't really know what it is yet." Even though like Nadeshot was joking about how like, "Oh, we know what it is. We just can't say yet," kind of
Yeah.
thing. So super excited to see what comes of that. The Twitter account is 100T underscore Project X for those interested and want to follow along on that journey. Anyways, a quick breakdown from what they mentioned in the video. They essentially said that they're working on a game. They feel like they have a kind of a leg up in the industry, and they feel like they have a serious advantage since they are under the umbrella, like under the 100 Thieves umbrella. They have like top tier like competitive teams that are like winning championships, and they also have some of the best content creators I think out there right now. Especially of
Yeah.
like any org in general, they constantly do content, which most orgs like I feel like just they don't take advantage of that, which is kind of unfortunate. Um, but yeah, so they're really on top of content. They're really on top in the competitive scene, and so they have access to those two divisions, but they're also hiring like very well known like experienced like game devs to come in. And on top of that, they also want to involve the community in some aspect. I guess anyone who's willing to participate. So they really want to. Sounds like they really want to take this project and like make something that's very community driven and kind of take in the experts that they have under their roof to really make something good. And it's very exciting for me. I know Doc was another example. Doctor Disrespect. He had I
Yeah.
guess he has like the at 12 a.m. or midnight, whatever that
Hmm.
development company that he started. They have a game in development right now, so it's like you see these content creators who oftentimes like see the flaws in a lot of these multiplayer shooters or whether it's like just single player games or whatever. They see the flaws in these games, and they said, well, I mean, they're essentially saying like I don't know like what's going on, but like I can make a good game, and I have access to those resources, and I want to make sure it's actually like decent and like we check every box that these games keep missing. So it's very exciting times. I think like especially with 100 Thieves announcing this, it's kind of like I'd be curious to see how many more like kind of content creators want to try and get like who have that kind of funding want to try and make their own game and really try and gather a team of like-minded people. And who knows, man? In a few years, we could see some pretty insane games, Mike. I don't know. I'm very optimistic about this. I mean, we'll have to see. Obviously, I think we'll know in due time if it's like actually going to be decent. It'll probably be telling in the type of like deliverables they put out. But I don't know. Exciting stuff. What do you think, Mike?
I think it's really good. Like overall, I think it's really good. I think there's a couple obstacles that they're gonna have to tackle, but I don't think 100 Thieves is gonna mess it up. And the reason why I don't think they're gonna mess it up is they're more of like I don't really view 100 Thieves as like an esports winning championship like teams. I view them more as a clothing brand and content creation machine. So like you mentioned, they have so many good content creators where they're just dishing out content constantly and they're making tons of money off of that. They have like a land center. They're really supportive of their community and the people that like are under their umbrella and their sponsorships. Like they know what they're doing. And I think it's really cool that they're and they mention it in the announcement video between the two owners, one of them being Nadeshot. I'm sorry, I don't remember the other guy. John, Matt, and John.
I think so.
Um, Fact
Yeah,
check me on that.
John Robinson, yeah,
Right, John
president and
Robinson.
COO.
Yeah, and Matt being Nadeshot.
Yeah.
So, they do briefly mention a couple of things about like what the game could possibly be and what their interests are. But the thing that stuck out to me is they want to do like a breakdown of the progress of the game.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I can imagine that the 100 Thieves brand is going to be more of like a behind the scenes look at what game development is. And building a game is going to take years, years and years and years. And this is like they've only hired one person for the studio so far. So we're like, I would guess we're like at least 3 to 5 years out of an actual product.
Probably, yeah.
But the benefit is that then they hint on is like they have tons of creators, tons of pros, and their overall community that they can source from of what's good, what's bad, and like overall feedback. So if they do that right and they have the right formula of getting people's inputs, I mean, it can be really, really successful.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
what do you think the type of game it's going to be? Like, what genre?
I mean, if I had to guess, like I think it would be I think it'd be kind of weird if they didn't do like either an arena shooter, a tactical shooter, some sort of FPS. Like I feel like that's just like
Yeah.
that screams 100 Thieves to me. And like, I
Hmm.
mean, with Nadeshot being the founder, that's all the man plays. Like if you ever like watch his
Yeah.
streams, like he's always playing a shooter, right? So it's like I feel like they're probably gonna make something in that vein. I also like I'm so optimistic about it, but I'm also like but now that like we're kind of talking about it and I'm like thinking more about it, it's like I and I kind of hope this isn't the case, but if they're gonna like have this development cycle where they really like have people involved and kind of showcase things, is it gonna like affect the punch that the release of this game is gonna have? Because like I think what most devs like what what makes most devs like their games like go insane, I think at the start is like most of the time like you'll have at least a little bit of an idea or you'll have like no idea and then all of a sudden they release this product and it's just like this new thing you've never seen before, never had any idea was coming. Like I feel like that's the biggest advantage of a company to not like kind of get too detailed about their development stuff. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I think again I'm just kind of curious to see what's gonna happen, but and who knows.
Do you think that has anything to do with like when you're constantly showing what you're working on, it kind of sets an expectation level? Whereas when you release something that nobody's seen before, the expectations are like there are no expectations because they you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
So
exactly. Like, I mean, I also think I'm a firm believer of like not really talking about too much, like just doing the work, not really talking
yeah,
about it
I
out there
believe.
because it takes a lot of the energy out of actually making the product. Whenever you're like kind of like saying this is what we're gonna do this, and this, it's like as soon as you
Just
say
do
that, like it's just
it.
like all the energy's gone and like you're less motivated and it's probably not gonna be as good of a product as it would have been if you just put your head down and did the work, you know? So
Yeah, that's a good point.
see, man. Um, like I'm excited, but it's all about. I think we'll know pretty early on if it's something that's gonna
Oh
like
yeah.
be crazy or if it's something that's gonna be like, whatever.
I'm hoping for the best. Same thing goes for Doctor Disrespect's game. I'm gonna check him out. Obviously, I do like the little letter, not letter that Doctor Nadeshot ended up writing up
Yeah,
for this new project, and he basically references his come up, I guess, is like his early career and like the games that he used to play and what he takes inspiration from, and he wants to recreate that for other people and himself. So he's coming from a good place, and I think that they do have a really good vision, and they're really just trying to like venture off into an entirely new path for 100 Thieves. I mean, that's a really big deal. It's
yeah,
only the start for esports and just orgs in general.
yeah. It's very true. I mean, when you really think about it, yeah, there's not many, and it's it hasn't been around long, right? And like
Right.
for 100 Thieves to come into the scene and like be as successful as they have been in just 5 years, it's like who else is gonna come in and like be at the top all of a sudden, you know?
Seriously.
Like,
Yeah.
definitely crazy. I also forgot, like, I always, for some reason, I'm forgetting, even though I see their like constant tweets about these merch drops they do that like they're like a premium merch brand. Like, I just like
Oh
for some
yeah, they're
reason forgot
serious.
that for a second. But yeah, like, yeah. So the merch is gonna be fire for whatever this game is. Like, that's without a doubt.
No, yeah, there's so many things that they can do. They can have like anytime you buy merch from the merch store, you could get like a QR code or like a little code that you can redeem in their game where you can have like a character wear the merch.
Yeah,
You
be
know,
sick.
like there's so many things you could do, or like I don't know. They definitely are going to integrate the 100 Thieves brand into the game,
Yeah,
and they can build partnerships with other orgs to do the same.
yeah, for sure.
So
I think with someone like Nate Shot at the helm, like that's definitely gonna be
yeah,
like a thing. Like he's just gonna
yeah,
want to work with all these orgs and stuff. it's definitely
Yeah,
exciting on the collaboration front, I think.
yes, and I think you and I are both in agreement that hopefully they do it on Unreal Engine 5,
Oh,
and it
dude.
just looks phenomenal.
I mean,
So,
it's literally at this point, it is criminal if you don't. Like
yeah,
if you
it's
can't figure
so
out Unreal Engine
ridiculous.
5, you better get some new people that can, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, and
very,
I'm
very important.
I'm excited to talk about the hardware that's gonna be using Unreal Engine 5 as well.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, oh yeah, we're
So
gonna get onto that. Not the next article, but the one after, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
keep watching.
one at a time.
So yeah, very excited for this.